Ever since its world-shattering and window-shattering debut at the LA Auto Show, there hasn't been anything to come out that's as iconic as Tesla's very own Cybertruck.
Sure? Yeah. Oh my god. Well.
And while the design, brand heritage, and just sheer feel of the thing might say to some people that the truck is the future of four-wheel drive vehicles, that might not be the case. Because folks, the truth is that no matter how impressive the first model was, the Tesla Cybertruck is far from being complete, and anyone who's made a deposit or is in line to buy it might be regretting that decision already. And a big part of the reason for that is not Tesla's difficulty in producing the truck, but the massive competition faced by those guys. Because as it turns out, right now, there are not one, not two, but multiple alternatives to the Tesla Cybertruck that might not only be just as good, but even better than Elon's gray whale. And so in this video, we're going to be taking a look at 5 of the most promising electronic SUVs coming in the future that have the potential to dethrone the Cybertruck entirely. And so to kick things off, let's name the company everyone is probably already thinking about. 1. The Rivian R1S. The brainchild of MIT PhD holder Robert Scaringe, Rivian has often been cited as Tesla's most prominent rival, with many people comparing the two to the likes of Xbox and PlayStation. And if you take a look at the company's business model and practices, it's not hard to see why. You see, while Tesla's goal has been to create an EV conglomerate, something like Toyota that makes luxury cars and sedans and sporty coupes among everything, Rivian has a much more focused approach, and its focus is on the same spot as the Cybertruck. That being the high-utility vehicle market, with stuff like SUVs and trucks. And the results of that approach are the R1T pickup and the R1S SUV, both of which debuted at the LA Auto Show, the same venue where the Cybertruck was revealed. And while on paper they both seem pretty similar, Rivian seems to have a business idea completely different from Tesla. You see, instead of trying to sell you on some brand new futuristic design, the entire idea behind Rivian is to make EVs, especially in the form of these rugged day-to-day type vehicles, far more approachable. As a result, their designs don't look half as otherworldly as Tesla, despite still being modestly futuristic and honestly really good to look at. As a result of this, they also don't face the production issues that Musk's Cybertruck is facing. And wouldn't you know it, despite being released in the same time frame, the Rivian SUV is already in its delivery stage. With this 316-mile range SUV with state-of-the-art interiors and the ability to gain 140 miles of range after just 20 minutes of charging, all for $70,000 right now, it's no wonder people are flocking to them. Add to that the fact that massive companies like Ford and Amazon are already betting their dollars on the company, with the former automaker investing $500 million in the startup, while Musk's most direct competitor, Jeff Bezos, taking a 20% stake in the company and ordered 100,000 delivery van vehicles based on the R1 models in 2019, a whole year before the expected production. So all in all, while Rivian might not have the most high-tech or outrageous design that most people think of when they imagine Tesla killer, the more subdued and mature approach might just make Rivian the king of electric SUVs long before Tesla even gets its Cybertruck affairs in order. Now, if you were a little disappointed with Rivian being a calmer Tesla, don't worry, because our next pick is sure to fulfill those dreams of yours. 2. Edison Future EF1V. Founded very recently in 2020, it's not hard to understand why many people are considering this startup to be just that, another startup. But take a look at the company's background and, more importantly, their actual products, and I'm sure you will change your mind. You see, Edison Future is not like Tesla or Rivian in the sense that instead of being a brand new company made by a special team, Edison is the collective endeavor of 2 already existing companies. And not just any companies, but companies with the financial backing and technical experience that is actually greater than even Tesla. These are the California-based Phoenix Motor Cars and Chinese energy brand SPI Energy, and their collective efforts have yielded something truly spectacular. Straight from the get-go, the design, by Ukona Design Styling, is striking, with futuristic lines, and most prominently, an absolutely massive size. And that's also where you'll notice that the EF1V is actually not a regular SUV, but instead more like a van. But don't let that fool you, because this bad boy is not only more spacious spacious than any current SUV, it has a few tricks up its sleeve that not only lift it up from the level of a van, but even above standard SUVs. The most prominent of these, the solar roof. That's right, a solar roof has been installed on these cars, and using that, it can regenerate mileage in mildly sunny conditions using nothing more than natural sunlight. And then there's the power and the main reason I consider it to be an SUV, the drivetrain. With four-wheel drive providing a massive 816 horsepower to get a total of a mind-numbing 11,000-pound towing capacity, and the huge bed of the vehicle acting as a super battery that can give you an unheard of 450 miles range, all with an interior that's as flashy as it is luxurious. It's hard not to be impressed by the company. And then there are the completely unnecessary bits, like a launch time that's equal to a Porsche 911 at 3.9 seconds and a 4,000 cubic feet cargo space. And with the aforementioned support from its parent companies, I personally think that the upper segment of the market might already have their massive SUV, and it's not a Tesla. Now that we've covered a space-age masterpiece, an all-American standard truck, I think it's time we take a look at the more rugged ways of life in the 3. Bollinger B1. If you saw the price tag of the Rivian and thought that it was too mundane for your taste, and if you saw the sleek silver body of the Edison EF1V and thought, meh, then don't worry because we have just the pick for you. Because the Bollinger B1 doesn't only have an obscene price tag of $125,000, it has the most bonkers design of any EV that I have ever laid my eyes on. With a brick-shaped chassis with manually removable rectangular glass and metal panels, that means exactly what you think it does. This baby can be driven window and roofless. And if the design alone did not speak of rugged military utility, the sparsity of the interior, which comes without an air conditioner by default, and the sheer obscene kinds of off-road specs definitely do. From a trick hydro-pneumatic suspension that controls body roll, taking straight-out setups in trick supercars, to portal axles, an off-road vehicle trick used to boost ground clearance and reduce torque on various drivetrain components. And that doesn't mean that this guy is lackluster electrically either, because they will have a 142 kilowatt-hour battery pack that at the right charger can fill up completely in just 75 minutes. Add to all that 614 horsepower and 668 pound-foot torque powertrain driving 0 to 60 times in 4.5 seconds and an electronically limited top speed of 100 miles an hour, a 7,500-pound towing capacity, a 5,000-pound payload capacity, and 10 to 20 inches of variable ground clearance, it's pretty clear why the thing costs so much. And with deliveries having already begun, the Tesla Cybertruck is suddenly looking a lot less appealing. Now, wrapping up to the end, we have two quite similar, but at the same time quite different EVs that have a different thing going for them: brand security. Let's start with the 4. Ford Explorer EV. Long reigning as one of the kings of the EV SUV world, it's about time Ford came up with an SUV to challenge the likes of Tesla. And no, we're not talking about the Mustang E-Type. Instead, what we think is going to be the actual breadwinner of the company is an upcoming EV based on the Ford Explorer. And that alone should be enough to tell you why the thing is primed for success. Because you see, the Explorer is the best-selling three-row SUV in America for a reason. It's reliable, risk-free, and simple. And by bringing that model into the electric world faster than Tesla can yell autopilot, it's not a surprise that many experts already consider it the future of electric SUVs. Add all of that to the fact that it's Ford Motors and it's an electric Explorer for nearly $30,000 only, I don't think we should have any doubts about that. And that brings us to the last, but not the least, the 5. GMC Hummer. GMC is one of the longest-running car brands in the world, and with them owning so many iconic brands, it's no surprise that they found a way to incorporate their newfound electric streak into an existing property. And the result of that is the GMC Hummer EV, a 1,000-horsepower, 3-electric motor platform that brings the Hummer into a completely new era. And with the design offering removable roof panels, optional adjustable air suspension, and a unique 4-wheel steering feature that allows it to crab sideways or drive diagonally, It's not hard to see the Hummer character underneath all of that electric glamour. Add to all that the estimated range of 350 miles per charge and a 0 to 60 time of only 3.0 seconds. And finally, with a proper infotainment system on its 13.4-inch display designed by Epic Games of all people, the Hummer might just take the spot for the most well-rounded of these options. And with that, I think we should wrap up the video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. If you want to learn more about Mercedes EQS, the most luxurious electric car, click on the video right here on the screen. With that, take care, and I'll see you guys next time.